Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jada Blossom, and it's time for project 2 of the Jada Blossom mini September release. And I'm using the Street Lamp Dies fall add-ons that are new, Haunted Highway stamp set that's new, Scarecrow Christmas stamp set, Halloween Gnome Faces stamp set, Gnome Dies Girl Gnome Face add-ons, the Gnome Dies Girl Scarecrow add-ons, their card mat dies, their mushroom dies, their street lamp dies, their street lamp dies Valentine add-ons, the new fall embellishment cluster dies, and gnome dies. And I did assemble this previously. There we go, that's the stamped face. Everything that I used will be listed in my blog post, but you know. And then I did put this together on the assembly video for the street lamp dies, so check that out. Okay, and I'm using gingham linen from Doodlebug, pumpkin spice odds and ends, and the pumpkin spice 6-inch pad as well from Doodlebug, and the 12-inch pistachio candy stripe and sprinkles. There we go. So first I'm starting off with the card base that's an A2, so 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, and I am in dark chocolate cardstock from Papertrey Ink. I'm going to add in a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of white cardstock from Neenah Solar White, 80 pound. And then I'm going to add a strip of paper from that pumpkin spice 6-inch pad. And this is the borders. I just kind of trimmed some of them out. Might be like 1.5 inches, something like that. I just trimmed along the border lines and there we go. So sticking that down with ATG tape, trimming off the overhang. Next, I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the inside using my Misty and VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. There we go, and that's that Scarecrow Kisses stamp set, and I'm going to stamp Happy Fall. There we go. So just a really quick and easy sentiment. There we are, and Happy Fall it is. Fun, right? And now I have my little sentiment. Next, I'm going to add some ephemera. That's from that pumpkin spice odds and ends from Doodlebug. This is a little scarecrow because I like to match what's going on the outside with what's going on the inside. So here's a cute little scarecrow hanging off the right-hand side. And I'm going to add some little hearts as well. That's also from the pumpkin spice odds and ends from Doodlebug. And I try to add them in a visual triangle, you know. And I just love this little super cute little scarecrow. There, and I'll add the last little heart in there. And how cute is that? And I will trim off that overhang with a pair of scissors. So I'm working on a Stampin' Up! Pad as normal. All my die cutting today was done with my Anna Griffin Empress machine. You know, all the stuff I always do. There. So I'm going to use my Teflon bone folder and just rescore that. And then I'm going to add this paper. That's that pistachio candy stripe and sprinkles from Doodlebug. I'm going to add that with some ATG tape. And this was cut out with Jada Blossom's card mat die. It's kind of one of my most used dies, right? So this is like 4 by 5 1/4 inches, roughly. I do add a little bit of glue along the edge. Whoops. There, and I'm going to try to line this up as good as I can because, you know, I'm a little challenged at that, but I do my best. Get it in place. And then there we go. And next I'm going to add in, this is from the mushroom dies, and it's kind of like a hill. And that was cut from Papertrey Ink New Leaf cardstock, and I'm going to add that to the bottom of that card mat die and just run it side to side. And I will trim off that overhang with a pair of scissors again. So there it is, right? Next, I'm going to add on my little lamp post. Remember, the new lamp post, you're going to want the original street lamp dies. And then for the little sign, I use the Street Lamp Dies Valentine add-ons for that. And it just gives you the little sign that you can add to your street lamp. So, you know, if you're a collector of these street lamps, it's kind of fun. You can use them all, use different ones together, right? And I'm going to stick that down to my card front. And the sentiment on that came from the brand new sentiment stamp set called Haunted Highway. And they just fit perfectly in that little sign die. So there it is. So it says Harvest Hill. And the little leaf was cut out with gingham linen from Doodlebug. And then the lamppost was cut out with American Crafts black cardstock and smoky shadow cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. I did use, sorry, I hit my little, hit my camera there. I do it a lot. I also, excuse me, I also used a little bit of close to my heart white daisy ink just around that base of that lamppost, just for some definition. I do it a lot, like pigment ink works well with that. So next I am going to pop up this cute little scarecrow girl with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And she was put together with paper from Doodlebug's Pumpkin Spice 6-inch pad, along with P13 stamping pad skin tones that are available over at the Jaded Blossom store. Her face was stamped with the Halloween Gnome Faces stamp set. Copic marker E99 and YR18 for the eyes and the nose, and I did use glossy accents on her eyes. Her little sunflower on her hat, that came from the Gnome Dies Girl Scarecrow add-ons. So I'm going to have this little scarecrow girl holding on to this little sunflower die, and that is also from the Street Lamp Dies Fall add-ons. And remember, if you want to watch me put that together, there's an assembly video, so check that out. And that is just using some Doodlebug gingham linen again. I'm just peeling off the backing of this, of my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And we are going to have her holding this super cute sunflower die. And then we will have her little hands popped up with miniature Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. These are the black ones. You know, whatever works. I'm going to add the little hands on. And there she is. Isn't she cute? So next I'm going to add on, these are the fall embellishment cluster dies that are brand new. And I'm going to add on some leaves that I cut out from the same Doodlebug's gingham linen 6-inch pad in yellow and orange. So I'll have a few little extra leaves, you know, visual triangles, odd numbers. All the same things I usually do. So I'm just going to get those in place. And then I'll add my third one, and then we will be basically done. So adding on this last little leaf. And there we go. Now I'm going to add on some Secure White Jelly Roll pen and number 10 highlights. Freckles, you know, maybe a highlight to his hat. And I'm using the Black Glaze Secura pen for the eyes again. And there it is. I like that it adds a little bit of shine and dimension, but it does take a bit to dry, so be careful. And there we go. Fun stuff, right? So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store, to get your hands on this amazing little mini release. And remember, there's a release and review video too. Check it out. Bye, everybody.